Well, good morning, everyone. It is April 16th, 2025, and we are just getting started here. Let's see what we have going here. Well, we are waiting for the guys to get here and the gal. So as soon as everybody gets in, oh, thanks, Share Baby. You'd think I'd remember at this point. All right, there we go. Some of the challenges of being 62 years old. Oh, my word. All right, let's see what we've got here. So let me know where everybody's at so I can say good morning. If you are on, well, good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Sam. How are you?
I am well, sir. How goes the battle this morning?
Well, I woke up with air in my lungs and a voice to help, so it's a great day.
Excellent. Love to hear it. Let's see here. I think we've got James here. Stand by, everybody. Let me see. Or maybe you could take care of that, Alex.
Yes, sir. I'll handle it.
All righty. Let me say good morning to some people here. We have Share Baby 29. Donna Fox is here. We have Joy. Good morning from Vegas. Oh, you're in Vegas, Joy. Wonderful. Oh, I think I got to adjust my camera a little bit there. Let's see here. Cameras are a little off today. There we go. All right. So let's see. We have John Gwynn's here. Good morning, John. Lori Christine is here. Good morning. Scratch 65. Mark Matson is here. Terry Dykus is here. Good morning, Terry. Hey, Ronnie's here. I can't believe it. Ronnie's among us today.
Ronnie.
Hey, Alex. Yesterday we had a message from somebody by the name of Blondie. I tried to find her or him. I'm not really sure whether it's a man or a woman, but I couldn't unmute her. If you guys, anyone there can find Blondie and unmute her, it would be appreciated.
Yeah, we should have connected offline. We'll do that today, Sam, afterwards, and I'll walk you through where to find her.
Okay. And then also we need to talk about that test broadcast for Saturday. So, okay. All right. So Share Baby 29. Oh, Wendy's here. Good morning, Wendy. Donna Fox, thank you for the dolphin. Wendy said, I should say Share Baby 29 said, good morning, all. Happy Hump Day. Welcome. Captain Graybeard's here.
It's not Hump Day. It has been officially renamed Trump Day.
There we go. I like that. Good morning, Chris Romano. We have Wendy here. Tire Man is here. Amy is here. Boy, we got the whole gang here today, guys. So good morning, James. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
So tell me, Alex, what are we seeing on the radar before we jump into your regular? Anything off the cuff today?
Let's see. S&P's down 65. Dow is down 133. NASDAQ down 329. Gold up to $3,338.
Wow.
So that's, so people understand. In November, I think it was, I was looking yesterday. Back in November, it was sitting at $2,500 an ounce.
That was when?
That's November.
Wow.
So
$800.
Yeah.
Since November.
Yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable. So tell me, Adam, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you guys doing? I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here.
That's what we like to hear. Dave? Que pasa?
All good here in Iowa.
All right.
All good.
Are you in the tractor today?
Yes.
I kind of figured you look like you're bouncing them.
That's going to be a pretty common thing here for a little bit.
Good. Well, let's see it. Let's see an update here pretty soon. I want to get a little picture there. Good morning, James.
That sounds good. Good morning.
All right. So Alex gave us the rundown on crypto and crude oil, Alex.
62, it's up $2 a barrel.
Oh, wow.
62.37.
I heard something about OPEC is going to be decreasing their production. Did you hear anything about that?
Gasoline prices are expected to fall as oil slides for the second straight week. Prices may need to fall another 20% before Trump puts a stop on this year's slide.
Okay. All right.
Seen it.
Man, no big.
Yeah, they don't want it to get below about 40 or 45 bucks because then at that point the fracking there's no money in it for them.
Mm.
Well,
So-
and the demand for oil is going to slow as the pressure of the tariffs builds.
Yeah.
And so this is that pain point that we've been talking about. We're going to take a little bit before we strap onto the rocket. So
Right, exactly. Hold on, everybody. Let me get this camera squared away here. All right. So Dana Mackey said Bloomberg Financial Channel just mentioned a revaluation of gold. Wow.
let me do some digging.
Yeah. John Gwynn, thank you for the gifts. Crystal Zeski is here. Good morning, Crystal. Thank you for the gifts. Susie Kabluzzi is here. Good morning, Susie. Kim 55 is here. Good morning, Kim. We have Nanny 1949 said gas went up here in East Tennessee. Interesting. Franny Dragonfly's here. Good morning, Franny. Excuse me. Hokey Gigi, thank you for the gifts. Good morning, Amy. Mr. Red is here. Christy B 78 from Hayesville, Kansas is here. John Glenn says best wishes to Jen. Very nice. Susie, thank you for the Dolphins. All right, so let's see. James, let's have a military report.
Well, good morning, everybody. Well, there's some interesting developments happening across the country. One of the biggest things that struck me is the entire Pentagon Defense Technology System is resigning, giving the United States an opening for U.S. cyber attack. And there's a lot of exposure there. So, Alex, if you want in, now would be your time.
Just because there's turnover doesn't necessarily mean that we're right for a cyber attack. I think probably given the times we live in and the non-kinetic warfare that we're dealing with, it's probably more draining of the swamp. I mean, they announced yesterday that one of the Hegseth released one advisor. It's actually two of the top advisors at the Pentagon were walked out yesterday. So there's a lot of house cleaning going on.
Right, and James,
I concur with that. There continues to be house cleaning. There's a Colonel Shayla Ramirez was a commander at Fort McCoy, and she refuses to display pictures of the defense secretary and POTUS. So she was escorted off the ranch yesterday. Other news about that kind of same thing. Barack Obama's picture was taken down at the White House, and apparently the left isn't happy about that. Another general, Stephen Quast, he was a U.S. Air Force general, and he was giving a talk or part of a talk it looked to be the White House, and he was released because of soft disclosure. And it looks like he was talking about energy sources. Somewhere in there, I heard him say, because I watched the clip, he was talking about it's possible for a human to be anywhere in the world within 24 hours.
No, he said anywhere in the world within an hour.
Within an hour, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah, and I did some digging on that, James. I did not see Quast being relieved of any duties because I think he's retired. But I'm not sure. But
you can share reports on that. That's definitely worthy of an eyebrow cutting wager.
Well,
a lot of his talk had to do with energies from Edison and Tesla.
Right.
Another big topic that you tipped me off on, and we've talked about yesterday, was that 109,651 acres of federal land that is on the border of U.S. and Mexico. And, they gave it to the Department of the Army. They did an emergency removal of jurisdiction and gave it to the U.S. Army. So that, in fact, does give President Trump the control over that land because he is the chief of, the chief of staff.
Right. Right.
Well, just finally on the military side, the United States military across the board, we lose about 200,000 soldiers every year for retirement or just regular end term of service. And that's normal. 200,000 is a normal turnover.
Great, excellent. Now, another thing too, you guys want to keep in mind, Stephen Quast, he is a proponent of that other board that we follow. He's at every GART meeting. That's the Great American Restoration Tour. He's dialed in. He comes on podcasts that specifically deal with that other board. So I'm really interested to see if we can find more on him, James, at some point.
10-4.
Allie Brock is here on Facebook. Good morning, Allie. Mike Warner over on YouTube said, I'm not finding you on TikTok. So, Mike, on TikTok, there's a lot of fake accounts. The only legitimate account that I have on TikTok is Sam_Shalhoub. So hopefully you can find us and join us and then be part of the live here as well. Lisa Maria, thank you for the gifts. Toey Bixby's here. Thank you for the gifts, Toey. We have Lisa Maria is on board. I didn't see that at the last minute there. T Rainy 2, I got it right again, said keep cleaning. I agree. Lisa Maria said eyebrow cutting. I wonder what she's talking about. Any idea, James?
No. I know that.
Full Metal Jacket is here. Captain Graybeard's here. And Sherry. Okay. Dave, do we have an agriculture farming report?
Yeah, actually, President Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday about the tariffs and how the farmer.
Oh, he got a phone call. He'll be back.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm here. Are being Trump put on Truth Social yesterday that the farmers are being taken advantage of with Truth Social on Truth Social, being taken advantage of with China and stuff like that, and said that the Biden administration didn't help the situation.
Gee, what a surprise.
But he's told the farmers to hang. Told the farmers to hang on, and he's going to take care of us. So we'll see how that goes.
Excellent.
That's been Truth Social.
Excellent. Thank you for that report. All right, let's jump in over here, guys. We have President Trump yesterday said perhaps Harvard should lose its tax-exempt status and be taxed as a political entity. Now, we've talked a lot about academia and the malfeasance, in my opinion, of the funds that are distributed to them. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
Well, I mean, if you read through his post and he talks about who they're hiring and who they're bringing in, look at the policies and the beliefs of these people. Look, you can teach whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. First Amendment, all those things protected, right? But the federal government doesn't have to fund you anymore to do so.
Right. 100%. I agree. Adam, do you have any comment on that? Oh, I think we might have lost Adam there. All right. That's okay. James?
Everybody's on mute.
They probably both got phone calls. It looks like Dave's was ringing off the hook. I don't really have any comment. You guys hit the nail on the head where I was going with it.
Cool.
They're probably calling each other, having a private meeting.
Oh, my gosh. Alex, is there something you can do from a technical standpoint to spank them? Give them some sort of consequences now?
I mean, I can kick them out of the live.
Yeah, I like that. You go right for the throat. You're not playing around this morning.
No, sir.
All righty. So it looks like we did lose Dave. All right, let's go to the next article here. So, Fed manufacturing expectations plunged to the worst since 9/11. Can you pull something up on the Fed manufacturing, Alex, as we move over to Adam? Are you still there? Or
He's
no,
still muted.
He's still muted. Okay. James, what do you think about this whole manufacturing plunge?
I think there's a lot of things that go hand in hand with tariffs. You know, a lot of our manufacturing they defected. They went overseas. You know, when you got Ford Motor and you have a lot of things overseas and these companies are being compelled to come back under President Trump, it's understandable that we fell on our face. Look at steel. there's a lot of steel manufacturing sites that are just idle. They're there, but they're not doing anything. That's what this whole motion is about. They're trying to get all this stuff back in, so they don't have these big sanctions against them.
Right.
Steel is by far, in a way, at the top of that list, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you able to find anything, Alex?
Yeah, but I got to make sense of the data.
That's okay. Adam, why don't you give us your 2 cents on that?
Real quick, just back up on which topic, because I had the school call me about my son. That's why so which topic are we on right now?
We're just talking about the manufacturing dip.
Oh, yeah. The manufacturing, I think we're definitely, like I think Alex pointed earlier, we're kind of in that beginning of that pain curve. I mean, we're seeing so much, like Intel made its deal. We got AMD, like you've announced on the Daily Dispatch. It's got a big investment coming in here in the U.S. We're going to have to go through this curve, period. But you touched on steel, James. Trust me, with the project that I'm supposed to be on next, we're looking at a huge ramp up in steel production. I don't know why we've even cut it out of the country. We don't have enough steel plants here, period.
Right.
But
So
manufacturing has got to come back here, period.
100%, I agree. We have, let's see, June 2024. Thank you for the gifts. BB is here. Thank you for the gifts, BB. Traveler's here. Hey, Traveler, guys, you can make it.
So if you look at year over year from 1975 all the way to 2008, when we obviously took a dip, which was a 2-year dip, clear into 2010 before it started to climb again. And then in 2020, we took a dip. The averages across the board were 79 with as high as 105%. So again, is this a narrative that's being pushed? Because if you look at the indices, yes, there's a dip, but we're not talking a 2008 or a 2020 dip. So that's what the data is showing.
Got it. Thanks, Alex. Scratch 65 concerning our last subject. He said Harvard has the largest endowment in the nation of $53 billion. Wendy said if they have so much endowment, they shouldn't charge students so much. Very good point. Good morning, Jason Coos. Traveler, thank you for all the gifts. June 2024, thank you. Andy, thank you. So costs 72 said the U.S. can produce enough steel that is needed. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm assuming that it is, but I don't think we have it yet. But I think we probably have it. Oh, my goodness. Look who's here.
Oh, my God. She's here.
Good morning, Jen.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Everyone was asking about you in the chat earlier.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh. U.S. Red Dawn Ryan, thank you for the necklace. John Gwynn, thank you for the gifts. So let's move over to, well, actually, Jen, how are you this morning?
I'm coming.
Well, I think you're here.
It's just rush hour because the kids get out of school today for Easter vacation.
Oh, yeah.
It's just an ongoing, nonstop. But you guys all can relate to that, I'm sure, out there.
Oh,
No
yeah.
idea what you're talking about.
Years
Yes.
ago, but I do relate. All right, so let's move over to the next subject here. We have AMD.
Non-hero says the breaking news.
What's that?
That's the breaking news, non-hero.
Type it in the chat, Non.
Yep.
So let's move over to AMD is preparing for their first Made in America chip. Now, Alex, you being the tech expert on the panel, do you have any idea? Are they going to be competing with NVIDIA, or what are they producing?
AMD chips you'll find in a lot of places, but primarily the two big players in the processor of a computer field is the AMDs and the Intels, though different graphic sets use some AMD and some Intel. So it's across the board, but Intel and AMD are the two largest computer processor manufacturers in the world. The fact that AMD is making a decision to bring their chip production to the United States again is evidence of the tariffs working, businesses wanting to be produced in the United States by United States people, and thus avoiding the tariffs and keeping the cost to the consumer and their profitability up.
Yeah, again, this whole tariff thing, I have a lot of liberal friends on Facebook, and some of the things that they post about these tariffs is mind-blowing to me. They're like in panic mode, a couple months into this whole process. I don't understand how they can't see long-term in terms of how this is working in our favor.
Because their television doesn't talk to them in long term.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Jen, you look like you have a comment there.
Well, I guess it is absolutely ridiculous what these people are saying and how they're getting like absolutely crazy about these tariffs and everything. I don't know what to comment on that because I'm having a brain fart.
That's okay. That happens to me. Don't feel bad.
It must be all those curls.
Yeah, I was gonna say your hair looks beautiful though.
Thank you. I'm just in like rush hour mode and I'm trying to like calm down. I'm sorry, you guys. I really am going to answer these questions. I'm just like,
that's all right.
We all have the moments, Jen. Don't worry about it. Relax. It's fine.
So, Adam, what are your thoughts on the first Made in America chip by AMD?
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to echo what my son told me last night because he works in the tech field. He was ecstatic about it because, you look at AMD, TSMC, and you've got NVIDIA. I mean, it's almost like a chip maker's dream coming to the U.S. in all reality. I know that Intel's got its shuffle it's doing, but I myself am personally excited about it because, between the gaming world and multimedia, AMD's really sitting there on the top of things right now. So
right.
Let's go.
Right. I agree. Non-Hero said, Anonymous just released 10 terabytes of leaked data on the West Russian asset. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not. U.S. Red Dawn Ryan said AMD will be produced at the TSMC plant here in North Phoenix, from what I'm hearing locally. Oh, interesting. So I didn't realize, I think we have a number of fabs that are being constructed here in America, aren't we, Alex? Don't we, Alex?
I'm sorry, ask again, Sam.
Don't we have a number of fabs that are being constructed currently here in America?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. And the TSMC chip maker is leading the way. I am finding proof of the anonymous story, but that is yesterday. The release of 10 terabytes of data by the anonymous. Oh, and the page just refreshed. That's interesting. Let me go back. The release of 10 terabytes of data by the Anonymous Collective represents a significant escalation in cyber activism and has the potential to reshape geopolitical landscape as the world grapples with consequences of this leak. So we're gonna have to dig into that one, Sam.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. Well, send me the link if you would on email.
It's an inside job. That's why all the people in the Pentagon decided they're resigning. I think it's an inside job.
You could be right, James. You absolutely could be right. Alex, also, did you get that email I sent you before we went? Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so let's move over to the next one now. This one's going to cause some discussion. Now, Tucker Carlson, and thank you, Alex, for sending that heads up yesterday. Tucker Carlson and Kurt Weldon are exposing 9/11 as the biggest scandal in American history. Now,
if you people have not gone to Tucker's page on X and watched this interview, I encourage everyone to go watch this interview. Disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, because 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would not be seeing this happen like we're seeing it right now.
No.
right. And
The man cites receipts. He brings the data. He's been sitting on it. He's been waiting. He has not had the opportunity until now with the current administration, the current DOJ, the Tulsi Gabbard, everybody that's in place sets up the opportunity for this man to come forward and have this interview with Tucker Carlson and make it to the airwaves.
right. It's interesting. After 9/11 happened, of course, my spidey senses were up, and I started researching about a year after it happened. And one of the first documentaries that I found was a documentary called Loose Change. Now, they've redone it and they did it, they made a shorter version of it. If you can find the original documentary, it's called Loose Change. It's over 2 hours long, and they go through all of the different points of 9/11 that don't make sense. All of the points that, when it comes to any type of reality, they point out the difference. For an example, how does a building fall at free fall speeds or near free fall speeds without, according to the government's explanation, it was a pancake theory. One floor collapsed upon another. And they also said that because jet fuel burns so hot, that's why it melted the 49 girders. It doesn't. Jet fuel is a very low burning fuel. It's like kerosene, right? I don't remember the degrees, but
You're not going to get a 2,800 degree temperature to melt steel out of that, period.
They go through a very precise explanation of all of the anomalies that happened with 9/11. Never mind Building 7, which we will get into later. And here I see Alex. What do you think, Alex?
Well, aside from all of the scientific things that don't add up, what this man has done has set on recorded radio communications between the firefighters as the event was unfolding, which included one of the senior firefighting officials on scene who took the elevator as high as he could, then took stairs, reached the 78th floor, which was the floor of impact. And his next radio communication was, we have 2 fires up here. We can contain these. And not within a minute of that, everything comes down. The things that don't add up, the owner of the buildings, right? And taking out insurance policies that he didn't have for 30 years prior, just weeks before.
Silverstein
coming out and saying that we're missing trillions of dollars that cannot be accounted for. What has the Doge team found recently?
Right.
Trillions of dollars.
And what's interesting, Alex, is that Rumsfeld coming out the day before and saying they couldn't account for $2.3 trillion of the Pentagon's budget. And then the next day, the plane that hit the Pentagon just happened to hit the server banks where that information was stored at the Pentagon, and poof, it's all gone now.
What was in World Trade Center Building 7? What was in there?
Exactly. CIA, FBI. What's that, Jen?
Something too. The owner of the World Trade Center showed up every day religiously, except the day they went down.
Right. Exactly. Scratch 65 said Building 7 was not hit by a plane and it collapsed. Exactly, Scratch. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
June 20. What is his again? I'm not sure what that means. Lisa Maria said Tucker Carlson is another badass. Love him. Agreed, Lisa Maria. I agree with you. So, Jen, Adam, what are your thoughts on the 9/11?
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, and they're trying to tell us it's a damn goose, I'm sorry, it's a duck.
Right.
There's too many things. I mean, you look at the supposed plane that went into the Pentagon. That wasn't a plane. That was a flipping missile.
Right.
You just look at shot by shot. There's no wings. There's no nothing. There was no fuselage.
There was no black box.
No.
Right.
But there was a passport on the sidewalk.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Uh-oh. Look at James.
The fact that our shadow government is doing this to ourselves. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
But now we're getting disclosure. We're getting the receipts. I mean, I remember watching 9/11. I remember exactly where I was standing. I know what I was doing moments before. I remember all of that. And I watched it and I'm going, none of this makes any sense at all.
Right. James, what are your thoughts?
Exactly right. Adam hit it nail on the head. All the anomalies that have happened, the people that have disappeared, like you said, the passport, when anytime the NTSB is investigating an aircraft collision, whether it be on an airport where it wasn't horrific, they always side with the black box, and that's what everybody looks for. What did the black box say? What did the black box say? Well, there was none of that. So there is footage that has been leaked that it is an ICBM type missile or a little small cruiser missile went into the Pentagon. That cover up, the controlled demolition of the towers before, as they were coming down, you can see it in slow motion. You can see it, but they've done a real good job, just like the JFK assassination. They've done a real good job in comparison from video to video. You can actually see it, but they've done a good job of scrubbing that from the internet.
Right.
And in the middle of the night, they passed what? The Patriot Act, the single largest infringement on American rights and privacy in the history of this country.
Exactly.
Don't forget that Putin says that he can show us where the gold went that was supposed to be under Building 7.
Right. Jen, what are your thoughts?
JP Morgan.
I was going to say the level of cover-ups is too much to cover in 1 hour. It's like nearly impossible.
It's astronomical. 100% I agree. Captain Graybeard said the gold. That's exactly right, Captain. The large amount of gold went missing the same day. Absolutely correct.
Is Putin trying to help the U.S. and tell the people, hey, look over here?
Yeah. T. Rainey
It's
2
ironic
said,
that's him.
T. Rainey 2 said, yes, it's a duck. Exactly. John Gwynn said, now I want fried chicken. That's in response to James's.
Thanks, Colonel Sanders.
Exactly. June 2024. Thank you for the gifts. Lisa Maria, thank you for the gifts. JoJo's here. Good morning, JoJo. All right, so let's move over to.
Hold on before we move forward. So
Yes.
interesting enough, a Breitbart article, another situation that happened in this country that is being revisited by our conspiracy network of Netflix. Oklahoma City bombing. So I'll have to go watch that one and report back if it's like a 2073 type movie. The different propaganda movies that Netflix has recently aired, but it says Oklahoma City bombing. American Terror arrives on Netflix Friday, April 18th, and manages to be engrossing while remaining admirably restrained. So that's another narrative. If people want to go down the rabbit hole, that's another one. The news articles of the time, the news broadcasts, and the official narrative